Well, good morning, everybody. We find ourselves in Matthew chapter 26 today. It's a long chapter with a lot going on. Jesus and his disciples are coming into Jerusalem for the Passover. He said, in 2 days, the Passover meal will happen, and that's when I'm going to be delivered up to be crucified. Well, how are people reacting to this? How are people reacting in his little group of 12 disciples and others who are following him at that time? Well, we see the treasurer of the group, Judas, selling him for 30 pieces of silver, betraying him for 30 pieces of silver, about 90-something dollars in today's money. You've got Peter, when Jesus said, one of you are going to deny me 3 times. And Peter says, it's not me. Everybody says, it's not me. And he looked at Peter and says, Peter, it's you. And before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times. And then you find the disciples all with Jesus. And Jesus is going into the Garden of Gethsemane to pray. He's hurting. He's feeling it emotionally. He's going through a really tough time before the cross. And he asks the disciples to watch him pray, and they fall asleep on him. And he goes and says, can you just not stay awake for an hour to support me? And he goes a little bit deeper in the garden, and guess what they do? They fall asleep on him again. It doesn't seem that anybody is there that Jesus can count on. And then you find when Jesus is arrested, you have this phrase that Peter is following him from a distance. And then you have this girl and others who are challenging him, saying, you were with Jesus, you know him. And he denied him 3 times, and the rooster crowed, and Peter weeps. But there's one person that Jesus could really count on to understand what he's about to do. And this woman comes to him at Bethany, and she takes this very expensive jar of perfume, and she anoints him from head to toe with it. And all the disciples began to complain about it, saying that could have been sold to help the poor. And Jesus said, leave her alone. For whenever the gospel is preached in the future, they're going to mention this woman's name and tell her story. So who could Jesus count on? Who really understood what was about to happen? This woman with this perfume. And guess what? In 2021, we're talking about her. Let me ask you a question. In 150 years, what will people be talking about you? What is the legacy you're going to leave? What are you going to do for Christ that is so honoring of him, that you would treasure him so much that people would talk about you? Think about that. Leave a legacy of spiritual treasuring of Christ, and people might just tell your story one day. God bless you, and have a good day.